Okay, so here is the tutorial for some of the pieces that are in the lower triangle, which is this area of the Wonder Woman shawl, in case there's any new knitters out there who might have a problem figuring out some of the directions. This particular pattern has really excellent directions and descriptions of the different types of stitches. So if you are a more visual person, then hopefully this will help you out. So I've already done 3 rows of row 1 of the lower triangle, and I'm in this particular section here where I have to repeat it 16 times. This is the wrap and turn section, but I'll also be showing you the make one right and make one left. So I just done my wrap and turn. I knit to the marker. Okay, so I'm at my marker. Then what I do next is I make one right. So to make one right, you put your needle in the bar between the 2 stitches, and then you knit into the front of the stitch. That's your make one right. So now what you're going to do is the next step is to slip your marker, knit one, and then make one left. So what I like to do is I like to poke it with my right hand needle and then stick it on to my left hand needle, and the short leg will be on the back, and you knit through the back loop. If I can get it, it's a little dark in here. Okay, so there's my make one left. So after I make one left, I'm going to knit to my previous wrap stitch, so here we are. Now what I like to do is, because the stitch can get really tight around here, I pick it up with my right hand needle and I slip it onto my left hand needle. And then what I like to do is, because I have a tendency to have very loose stitches, I knit them through the back loop, and that makes them pretty tight. They're a lot more tight than if I were to knit them the conventional way. And then next part is the wrap and turn. You take your yarn, you bring it in between your needles, you slip the next stitch on, you take the yarn and wrap it back around that stitch, and then you slip that stitch back on to your left hand needle, and then bring that yarn back and turn. So what you want is, you have your wrap there, but you want your yarn to be in back, so then you can start going the opposite direction. So then what you're going to do is knit to the marker, there we go, knit to the marker, and then you slip your marker, and now you're going to knit to the previous wrap and turn stitch, which you can usually tell is the one that's the last one here in this group, right before the gap. That's how I can usually tell, especially when it's on dark yarn. Sometimes it's difficult to tell. And you've got the 2 little bars there. So I'm going to lift this bar up, put it on my needle, and then I'm going to knit them through the back loop like this. I'm going to bring my yarn to the front, then move the stitch over, wrap that yarn around, move the stitch back to my left hand needle, bring it through, turn it around. So there's my wrap, and now I'm ready to go back the opposite direction. That's one of this section completed.